So today we're going to talk about selecting the right accounting system for your business because most small business owners make this decision based on one factor, and it's usually cost. And I just want to give you some factors to things to consider when you are looking at small business accounting systems. So let's just back up really quick and say, what is an accounting system? An accounting system is whatever it is that you're using to keep track of your income and expenses. So this is the system that tells you how much money you made, how much you spent, in what categories. If you don't have an accounting system in place and you're doing this manually or you're doing this in an Excel spreadsheet, this 15 minutes of fire is for you. Now I have a lot of information and it probably should take more than 15 minutes, but I am going to condense it down to 15 minutes. And tonight I am going to review 4 different accounting systems and just give you some of the pros and cons, things to consider, who is ideal for. And we're going to look at 6 different things as it relates to those systems. So when you are selecting an accounting system for your small business, there are what I consider to be 4 things that you want to consider. The first thing is that you want to consider is how easy is it going to be to use this system? Is it user friendly? Is it easy to use? And so we're going to talk about that. And when I talk about the 4 systems that that we're going to review tonight, we'll talk about the user friendliness of each of those 4 systems. The other thing is it a desktop version software or is it cloud-based? Spoiler alert, all 4 of the systems that we're going to talk about tonight are cloud-based. I know that there are some business owners who are averse to cloud-based softwares because they don't want to do the SaaS model, which is to pay for the software on a monthly basis. I think we're headed in that direction. It's getting to the point where all softwares are moving to a SaaS model. And so it's just a matter of time before those desktop solutions either go away or they change their pricing model. And so cloud-based just allows you to be able to access your accounting system from anywhere. And it also gives you simultaneous use, what I call simultaneous use. And so for me, with my clients, we are able to work in the file at the same time. They don't have to send me a file and I work in it and send it back. And then they send me the file and we wonder like who has the most updated file. That was a nightmare about 20 years ago when I first started my firm, that we were using a desktop version and that's the way we did it. So cloud-based is just the way to go. That's my opinion. Then we're going to look at integrations. How well does this software or your software integrate with the other softwares or applications that you use in the day-to-day operation of your business? The 4th thing that we're going to look at is expansion. What is the capability to expand in a particular software? Can you scale your business and continue to use that software? If your business grows beyond a certain point, will you be able to continue to use that software? So those are some of the things that we're going to talk about when it comes to expansion. The next thing is support. What does the support look like? If I get stuck, if I have a question, what does it look like? Do I have to read the knowledge base center? Do you have phone support, email support, chat? And is there a fee associated with it? So we'll talk about that. And then the last thing, which is what most people usually consider first, is the cost. So we're going to break down these 4 different systems, and I'm just going to give you just as objective as an overview as possible. I will admit that I'm a little biased, and I'll tell you why later. So the first system that I want to talk to you about is called Wave Accounting. Wave Accounting, and you can Google all these systems. Wave Accounting is, in my opinion, ideal for very simplistic business models, solopreneurs, micro businesses, service providers, those who don't really have a complex business model. You send an invoice, you get paid, that's pretty much it. So we're going to talk about our 6 categories, right? So when it comes to user friendly, it is very easy to use. Like I said, cloud based. There, all of the systems that I'm talking about tonight are cloud based. One of the downfalls is that Wave does not integrate with other systems, and so if you use other systems that you want to be able to integrate with your accounting system, there is no integration. Again, if you have a very simple business model and you're not really using any systems that require that integration, that may not be a big deal. The fourth thing is that expansion is not really possible when it comes to Wave. There is there's no expansion there. It's not really scalable. And so if your business model gets more complex, or your business model changes or grows, or maybe you write a book and now you're selling products, it's not going to support some of those things. And so that's something to think about when you're thinking about which accounting system is going to work for you. And the thing that I want a lot of people to understand is sometimes when you first start your business and you're on a budget, you may start with a low cost solution and it gives you what you need now, which is important. You get what you need now, but you also have to think about, what are my future needs going to be, and will this system be able to grow with me? It's almost like having a friendship, and you have a friend that kind of grows with you. Excuse me. So the next thing is support. With Wave, they do have support, but there's an additional fee for the support. And the reason that there's an additional fee for support is Wave is actually a free software. So you are free to use it. There's no charge. The only time you pay anything with Wave is if you use their payment processing system, which means like if you send someone an invoice and you get paid through the Wave processing system, then they take a fee from that. But other than that, it's free to use. And so again, very, very simple business models, Wave is the way to go. Keep in mind that it is not scalable. There is limited customer support with a cost, and there is no audit trail. An audit trail is something that we as accountants use when we want to see lots of different things, like what happened in the file, who did what. There's no audit trail, so you just don't know. So that's Wave. Next one is FreshBooks. FreshBooks, again, is similar to Wave in that it's ideal for like freelancers, solo entrepreneurs, micro businesses, service providers. Again, those businesses that have very simplistic business models. And so it is very user friendly. It's cloud based. It integrates with about 100 different apps. So that's really good. It has some limitations when it comes to expansion, but there are some expansion capabilities when it comes to using FreshBooks. They do have phone and email support, and they have 3 different packages. So when it comes to price, their light package is $15, plus is $30, and premium is $55. Now, a few things to note about FreshBooks is that they do have a mobile app that allows you to snap pictures of your receipts. You can send invoices, and you can also track your mileage in this app. Their lowest tier, the Lite plan, it does lack some basic accounting features. So you don't have the double entry accounting. You can't give your accountant access to your file if you're using the Lite version, and it doesn't have a bank reconciliation. There's also a limit on the number of customers that you can add with the Lite and the Plus plan. So that's something to consider. And then also there's no audit trail when it comes to FreshBooks. The third software that I want to talk about is Xero. Xero, again, is very user-friendly. It is cloud-based. Xero has the most integrations of the 4 softwares that we're talking about tonight. I think right now they integrate with over 1,000 applications. And so what that means to you is if you're using other systems that you need to talk to your accounting system, Xero is probably one of the applications that will integrate well with that. Xero does have expansion capabilities, and so it can support some of the larger businesses. And so when I say expansion capabilities, things that you want to think about is, I'm small now, but I don't plan to be small forever. And I like to use myself as an example. So my very first year in business, I did 20 tax returns, doing what, and so it's a very different story, So if I had started my business 21 years ago and said, oh, I'm just small, I'm only going to do a couple of tax returns, I'll just use this little small software or whatever. And now I'm to the point where I work with thousands of businesses across the country, I would be in trouble, right? And so having a software that has the capability to grow with you is a benefit. And Zero is one of those softwares. One of the downsides is that their support is only one way. So you can't call them, but they'll call you. So it's like, don't call me, I'll call you. No, they don't have a support number for you to call. You have to, I guess, put in a ticket and then they call you back. And they do not have a live chat. The pricing for Zero has some really good pricing. They have 3 different plans. It's early is $13 a month. Growing is $37 a month, and then established is $70 a month. One of the pluses to Zero is they do not charge additional fees for additional users, and many other softwares do. And they do have robust reporting tools and report customization, as well as a mobile app, which all of these have mobile apps, I believe. I'm not sure if Wave has one. I don't think they do. So that is the third one. The fourth one is my favorite. And again, I'm a little partial because we use QuickBooks exclusively. I've been using QuickBooks for the whole 21 years that I've been in business. And I'm a little partial. I recognize that one of my reasons for being partial is QuickBooks was around before any of these others were. And so I feel like they're just the trailblazers when it comes to this. Now, when it comes to being user-friendly, QuickBooks, I say, is easy to use, but it is just as easy to mess up. And so I believe that if you're using QuickBooks, you should have either some training or some basic accounting knowledge, because there are some things that QuickBooks will allow you to do that are just flat out wrong, right? And I've seen it because I fixed a whole lot of QuickBooks files in my day. QuickBooks is cloud-based. As I said, all 4 of the softwares that we're talking about tonight are cloud-based. QuickBooks integrates with about 750 apps. And QuickBooks also has more of some of the apps that are able to integrate with other systems. QuickBooks has those things built into its system. So it integrates with less apps than Zero, but has more functionality. It does have the capability to expand for larger businesses. I actually know of businesses that are 7- and 8-figure businesses that are still using QuickBooks. And so it does have the capability to expand as your business grows. QuickBooks has 24/7 live chat support, and then they have phone support at designated hours. So they probably have the most expansive support when it comes to software. Now, pricing, QuickBooks is also the most expensive of the 4. Their simple start or basic version of QuickBooks is $30. Essentials is $55. Plus is $85. And these are monthly fees if you pay monthly. If you pay annual, it's a little less. And then advance is $200. And again, most of the businesses that are paying $200, they're probably making about 9 figures a year. So QuickBooks, just like the others, has a mobile app that allows you to do invoicing. You can take pictures of your receipt. You can track your miles. It has the support of multiple industries, as well as inventory and project costing and things like that. And so again, it's my favorite. And yeah, so I hope that this information was helpful, that it's something that you can use to be able to make a decision on how you want to move forward in your business. Understand that when you are deciding on an accounting system, you want to look at where you are today and where you plan to be, and make sure that the selection that you make matches where you are now as well as where you're planning to go. So thank you again for joining us tonight on our 15 Minutes of Fire, and I will see you next week.